Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to this tutorial. So along with me, say hi to my daughter. She's all excited. So in this video, I am going to be showing you guys how, just taking you guys along with me on how I got started with sewing my son his first weighted blanket. My daughter is here to help me. She gets excited to help me, and I don't know, it's a bonding time for her and I. I'm showing her how to pin the blankets together, just how I did in the first video. I will also link the first video that's a lot slower and a lot more in detail of what I'm doing with everything. This is more of like a sew along with me and my daughter and my son, as he's gonna pop in and out of this video as well. Here as I pin them, I'm letting my daughter pin. She was pretty scared at first, but then she just got the hang of it. The theme for this blanket is PJ Masks. If you have tiny itty bitty humans under the age of 5, I don't know, maybe some 7-year-olds know about him. My daughter knows about him just because of her brother, but PJ Mask is like my son's favorite little cartoon, and we chose the color green for his soft side because he likes Gecko, the lizard character. Super Gecko muscles. I'm just kidding. Anyways, here I'm showing my daughter the importance of a sewing machine, how to thread the bobbin. She puts her little tiny foot on the foot pedal, and it was really neat. I'm going to say this. It was really, really neat showing her like the importance of a sewing machine, like how the motor works, everything before I teach her how to sew, because she really seemed into it. She really seemed interested in it, and she asked a lot of good questions. Like, I showed her how to come forward all the time and not to go back, and we did a cute little thing of come to me, turn the wheel, come to me. You'll see her little hands going come to me. And to keep her mind going and questioning, and I learned very hands-on, and I'm noticing that my daughter learns very hands-on as well. I told her to take the needles out, the pins out as I sewed, and every time she had the task of moving the needle up. See, come to me, it's coming to me. So we were like singing that song every time. See, come to me, so that she could remember which way to turn the wheel. And that way we can start her with really, really good habits. And then when like her birthday is in December along with Christmas, who knows? Maybe I will buy her first little sewing machine. She's been asking for one for a while, but I think now, with her really showing a strict interest in it, I think she's ready for one. And I'm just taking her along, like we're just going and going. She got it down of the come to me. Yeah, that was that. Maybe it should be. And I'm also showing her like the importance of the needle, of why you shouldn't go you shouldn't sew over your pins, because it'll damage your machine. Yes, the needle does slide over the pin and it rolls over to it, but with time it's just gonna curve that needle, slowly curve everything, and just end up breaking your needle randomly for no reason. I'm only saying this because that's what happened to me, okay? I mean, if you choose to do that, it's your machine. I'm not about to do that to my machine. I'm not about to let my daughter do that to her machine if I end up buying her one. So, your sewing room, your rules. My sewing room, my rules. Now it's like the next day. I'm kidding. It's like 5 days later. But you know how it goes. But here I am, and I'm going to iron you know what I sewed. I'm just ironing here. Excuse my at-home wear. I guess I could have changed, but I'm at home. I was cooking dinner, you know. My son is here too, just peeping through. I wanted to show you guys how I use this blanket. Like, I open them and I separate them, and then I iron straight, and I pull it through the ironing table. Yes. And then I spray and I iron, you know. Yeah, that's what I do. And it helps to separate, like, to do not skip on ironing. I repeat, do not skip on ironing a blanket, an outfit, anything that you're sewing. Always make sure to iron, like, every stitch, because look, it made such a huge difference. Now when I flip it over, you know, and turn it inside out, it's gonna make all the difference. Look at my son. But it's gonna make all the difference, because it's going to make a nice, beautiful point. And it's, even though this is a DIY homemade blanket, you never want it to look homemade. And yes, I flipped it over and it looks all right, but now I'm just taking my needle seam ripper, and I am just picking at it and gently, not like that, but just gently take it out and just make it to be a nice point. Gently do this one more time. In the other video, I really wanted to slow down on this part, because in the previous video, with my daughter helping me film it, she did a very good job, but I couldn't get a good picture of this part. Now then, here, now that I flipped it over, I'm going to iron again. You don't want to skip out on this part. Yes, it's homemade. Yes, you know, you're teaching yourself to do this. Yes, all those things, yes. But the reason why is because if you're making something homemade, you don't want it to look homemade. You don't want it to look busted. You want it to look nice, precise, and crisp. Because despite how long it takes to iron all of this, when somebody can see your work and someone can say, like, wow, it's very well made, like, yes, it is. I took the extra time so that there would be, like, no marks, and you could feel proud of yourself too. You know what I mean? When something, I did sew it. I know it looks like I didn't sew it, but I sewed it. I just took out that piece because this video turned out to be a little bit too long that I would have liked. I really like to keep my videos like under 10 minutes, 12-minute range, 10 to 12-minute range. 15 minutes for me was really, really pushing it. But it's my first time doing a sew along, so here we go. Now I'm ironing it. In the middle, I always start with ironing the middle. I fold it in half. I take my time. Take your time. Do not rush it. If you get like irritated at it, or you feel like you're not moving or making any process, walk away. Just walk away from it. Have a bite to eat, have a snack, and then if you have time later the same day, come back to it. If you're at the point where you're getting frustrated and irritated, just walk away from it, okay? But here we go. I always start from the middle. I fold it. I iron in the middle. I open it, and then from that middle fold, I take it and I take the end of the blanket, fold it on that middle line, and now I've created a different middle. And I am going to have this blanket be large rectangle squares. I ironed an extra one to show you guys the difference. Here, I'll show you guys the difference here. There's an extra line right there in the middle, but I'm not using that. They're going to be this big, okay? This big because my son is only 3. He doesn't even weigh 30 pounds, and I'm not going to make it 2-pound blanket for him. You are making these blankets to fit the person as they like. You're not making it for a bed. You're not making it to cover a bed. You're making it to cover a person. That's what I like to follow. That's what I like to go by. And if my son who can't even like pick up a little grocery bag with us, we have to give him little items to help us come inside. He doesn't need it to be 2 pounds or much less 3 pounds. Okay. So I'm not even going to go through these poly pellets. His blanket maybe weighs like half a pound, if that. It's very light. It's nice. It's light enough for him to carry. And it's nice that the rectangles are so big because he's able to feel the beads inside. And at this age, they're learning like texture and they're touching and and he's just moving the beads up and down, and he knows something's in there, and he really enjoyed it. You'll get to, if you stick to the end, like, because I know this video is long, if you stick to the end, you get to see like his little reaction. It's so cute, because he's coming in and out of here and he's watching me make it, and it's just cute. But yeah, this is usually how it is for me every time I sew. Every time I sew, my kids are in and out of my little sewing room. I try to keep the door open. Unless it's nighttime, then I close the door so I can, so that I don't wake them up with the sound of the motor. Here I'm continuing to fill the blanket with the poly pellets. And I'm going to grab my handy dandy protractor and push. Just everything, just push it. And when you push the poly pellets, make sure that you're not pushing through the soft side. You want to push through the cotton side, the side where the pictures are. Look at him. He's very excited for me to finish throughout like this video. He would even tell me like, "No, Mom, no," because he thought that I would damage it as I sewed through their faces. It was cute. My son is now like coming in and out. Boing. He was really getting a kick out of this. Boing. Dork. My goofball. He really hit me that time. I was like, all right, that's enough. That really hurt my head, And yeah. And then here too, like, I take the protractor and I push the beads too, because come on now, I don't want the beads to get, you didn't push the beads all the way down if you break a needle like that. And there's nothing more annoying than being in the middle of your blanket in the zone and your needle breaking. It's terrible. I'm telling you guys, it's terrible. And yeah, I'm just feeling it. I also wanted to make this video because like the other video I made was like a smaller, really tiny blanket, and it only took me like 2 hours to do. This takes a couple more hours in just 2 hours. It takes about 4 to 5 hours, at least for me. If you're crazy fast with your measurements and cutting and, you're not trying to teach tiny humans, it's probably faster for you guys. But for me, it takes me quite 46 hours, 4 to 6 hours, depending on how many breaks and how I'm in the zone. And yeah, as you can tell, like, the squares are pretty big, and I still do the double stitching. I leave about an inch of a space, and then I do another stitch when I'm sewing across. When I'm sewing vertically, it's just 1, 2, 3, 4, boom, 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 But when I'm sewing across diagonally, I double stitch it. And you can make them wider, you can make them less. You don't have to do that, but I like to do that just because it gives me like that extra security. But yeah. I'm just finishing the blanket. By the way, shout out to the new subscribers. Hello. Like, I didn't expect to get that many, and I've gotten quite a few. So thank you guys for subscribing to my channel. Thank you for helping me grow this channel. Please continue to subscribe, continue to like my videos, leave comments. I'm very easygoing, so just come on, bring on the magicness. But yeah, here I'm pinning the top. I'm cutting my labels because, to be honest, like, you can get labels on Etsy. I will put the person that I got these labels from in the description box. But here my son is seeing the result of his blanket, and he was pretty excited, like the little rocking, like, where am I going? He's all happy about it. Look, he's like, look at my PJ mask. Yeah, he was excited.